In this video, I'm going to show you a few examples of solving radical equations. I want you to notice on the right side of the screen just a couple steps. The first step is to isolate the radical symbol. Number 2, square both sides of the equation. And then number 3, solve for the variable. Those are the steps that we are going to follow for each of these problems. Number 1, this word isolate means to take this radical symbol in any number or expression underneath it and isolate. Isolate means to put alone. And so do you see that -1 is not under the radical? And so we're going to add it to both sides. So now we have the square root of v plus 3 equals 8. Now we're ready to square both sides. And by I mean square both sides, we're just going to draw a set of parentheses and then put an exponent of a 2. What happens here with the squaring of a square root? The exponent cancels the radical symbol. Out drops v plus 3. Now over here it's just 8. There's no radical symbol to cancel, and so 8 squared is 64. Subtract 3 from both sides, and v is 61. This problem, the first step has already been done for you. You can see that square root of v minus 4, it is already isolated, and so we can go ahead and just start with step number 2. Draw parentheses around both sides, put an exponent of a 2. Because square root and squaring a number are completely opposite, those two operations cancel one another. So out drops v minus 4 equals. Now be careful here because 3, I almost wrote 3. 3 is not under the radical. This is 3 squared, which is 9. Add 4 to both sides, and v equals 13. All right, let's take a look at this problem. This is -8 plus the square root of 5a minus 5 equals -3. And notice this -8 is not part of the radical, and so that's what we are going to move over first. The opposite of -8 is a positive 8. So now we have square root of 5a minus 5 equals positive 5. Now step number 2 says to square both sides. The squared exponent cancels the square root, and you have 5a minus 5 equals, over here it's 5 squared, which is 25. And now you need to solve for the variable a. Add 5 to both sides. 5a equals 30, divide by 5 on both sides, and a equals 6. Okay, take a look at this one. This is 10 times the square root of 9x equals 60. And because it's 10 times that radical and the number 10 is not under the radical symbol, I want you to divide by 10 on both sides. So now you have the square root of 9x equals 6. Now you're ready to square both sides. This is 9x equals 36. Divide both sides by 9 to get x equals 4. All right, let's take a look at this one. This one has 2 radicals in the problem, and even though it may appear to look harder, it's actually not. The number 1 is still satisfied, isolate the radical symbol. It just happens to be plural now. And so we can just pick up with step number 2 by squaring both of these. It just happens that both of them have a square root, and so both sides, the exponent 2 will cancel the square root. So this is 3n equals 4n minus 1. And then we're just going to solve for n. I'm going to subtract 4n over. This is -1n equals -1. And that leads us to n equals positive 1. We're going to do one more. This again has the double radicals, one on each side, but it's already isolated. So we can start with step number 2. We'll go ahead and square both sides. Again, the squared cancels the square root. This is 3n plus 12 equals n plus 8. From here, you should know how to solve this. This is one, again, that has a variable on each side. We're going to combine the variables over here to the left. So this is 2n plus 12 equals 8. And then I want you to go ahead and solve the equation. This would be 2n equals -4. Divide both sides by 2 to get n equals -2. So that's all for this video. Hopefully these examples helped. If not, please reach out. Please send me a text message or an email. I'd love to help you some more. Have a great day.